Hi students, welcome to the third chapter of International Auditing of Assurance, that is internal control, which we are already discussed in Principles and Practices of Auditing. What and all we discussed there is manual or which is done by the internal staff of the organization, and here we are learning what actually an internal control. So the control is a wider term and will include all the types of management controls. Let's start our discussion today. Internal control as defined in accounting and auditing. So it is a process for assuring achievement of an organization's objective in operational effectiveness and efficiency, reliable financial reporting and compliances with the law, regulations and policies. So what we discussed in PPA, it is the whole system of controls, financial or otherwise, established by the management in order to carry on the business of the company. So we are going to do whatever in order to do or in order to get the profit, and that profit should be true and fair view of the business. It must be legal. So if our company systems are effective and efficient, then the internal control system of the company is very good. So that is what we are learning in internal control. So an internal control involves each and everything that controls risk in the organization. So it is an organization's effectiveness, efficiency, reliability, and how we are going to report that with the provisions of laws, regulations and policies. ISA 315. ISA means International Standards on Auditing says, or ISA 315 says, identifying and assessing the risk of material misstatement through understanding the entity and its environment, states the auditor need to understand an entity's internal control. So it is also called as COSO components, or the major 5 components of internal control which must be there in an organization if you have to say your internal control system is effective and efficient and effective. So what are those 5 components of internal control? The first one is control environment. Secondly, entities risk assessment process. Thirdly, the information system, the control activities and the monitoring of controls. First thing is control environment. The control environment includes each and every activities or functions of the organization, which may be managerial as well as governance. Governance means how you are going to govern the operations of your company. Secondly, all the levels of the management of your company should involve in the control aspect of the organization. So it focuses largely on the attitude, awareness and the actions which you going to take, and you will be responsible for all the actions and its result. Let's discuss the elements of the control environment. So I'll use a little bit of Kannada tools to just make you understood with the concept. So first thing is communication and enforcement of integrity and ethical values. How ethically you are communicating from top level management to the subordinate level in within your company, how you are controlling the operations. Secondly, commitment to competence, how you are competent to your workload and how productive you are, how committed to your work. Thirdly, participation by those charged with the governance, those who are having the powers to rule, those are participating in a correct manner or in the right manner in order to get the profit or in order to make use of all the course of actions within the business. Nextly, management's philosophy, the vision and missions of the company and operating style, whether it is related to the laws and rules and regulations which are set by the institutions of auditing as well as some of the rules and regulations given by the government. Next, organizational structure, whether you are forming your organization structure in a smooth way, assigning the authority and responsibility to an authenticated person. So the human resource, how you are allocating and how they are giving the profit as well as product in future So everything is the element of the control environment. So human resource policies and practices which are prevailing in your company are the important control environment. So these are the things which are useful to enhance your competent as well as internal control of the organization. So these are all the evidence which related to how you are controlling the whole uh, organization's operations. This is one of the COSO component and the first foremost important one. Second component is the risk assessment process. Whatever you do, wherever you go, there is an allied factor, that is risk. Whenever you are investing in something, you will be having risk. If you are starting your own company, there is a risk. If you are doing something, everywhere risk is there. So in a company, there are a certain group of people, they are doing the assessment of the risk. So the risk assessment process forms the basis for how a management determines the risks to be managed, because risks are involved, or the decision making process involves the risk. So the auditor or the company internal staff of the organization, they will be depending upon the nature, size and complexity of the organization while assessing the risk. So the second important component of the internal control is risk assessment process. How your company's internal structure is associated with the risk. The larger organization, the risk is larger. If your company is smaller, the risk is less. But that doesn't mean the smaller company don't have any risk at all. Each and every company, each and every procedure will be having its own risk. So the auditor or the company personnel is going to assess the, or first they are going to identify the risk, then they will be assessing the risk. But all the companies are ready and they will be going for the minimization of the risk whenever they are going for the assessment. And the third one is the information system. The next component of internal control is the information system. How your financial reporting, or how you will be giving all those documents to an auditor, it will be an information to him, but how you are giving to him, that is very important. So the information system designed in various aspects. So in simple, I have to say each and every transaction has to be recorded in the books of account. Secondly, the person who is responsible in maintaining of those books has to give the accountability of the transaction. Then if any incorrect or if any errors are happened, any frauds are there in the books of account, that has to be resolved before giving for the auditing. Then the auditor has to, the company personnel or the responsible person has to check all the transactions were transferred from ledger to various books of account, journal to ledger, ledger to various books of account. Then it has to be shown in trial balance to trading and P&L account, P&L account to balance sheet. So the auditor is, the company personnel is going to check how it is disclosed, because the information system which will be showcased at the end in the balance sheet, the proper verification, proper valuation should be done in the system which you are going to give to the final auditor. So the information system plays a vital role whenever you go for a financial reporting procedure, and it is the basic thing where the assessment will be happened. ಯಾವ ಒಂದು ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಇದೆ ಅದರ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. The next component is control activities. So the objective of this particular activities are to prevent the errors and frauds in accounting process, and also focusing on policies, procedures, techniques and mechanisms which are ensured the implementation of those management's intent or the intention. So some of the examples of specific control activities are authorization, each and every which we discussed in vouching. So all the vouchers or all the documents will be having authorization. Without authorization, that is not a legal document. Secondly, they are going to review the performance of each and every individual of the organization from top level to subordinate level. Then information processing, whether they have given the actual figures in the books of account or they have given the fake one. So control smoothens the internal business practice, such as all these authorizations, verifications, reconciliations, documentations, separation of duties, protecting business asset, that is segregation of duties. You have to allocate for the person who have the guts to do that, because a person who don't have the ability to manage, you can't give him a manager post. So the segregation of duties is also one of the important thing. And the last component is monitoring of controls or the proper supervision. So the internal control system has to adopt the supervised system to in the entire organizational operations, because the internal control system has to be continuously monitored to find out whether all control systems in operations are functioning smoothly or not, because this is the process of assessing the effectiveness and the efficiency of the internal controls over a period of time. So the auditor or the person who is checking these things, he will be checking all those effectiveness and inefficiencies of the organization, and it will be stated in the financial report of the organization. So the monitoring need to be effective for the system which is prevailing in the organization. So the monitoring of internal control is often the key role to an internal auditors. Thus the objectives of these internal control system or the components of the internal control system is to promote economical, effective and efficient operations, and it is also helpful in the organization to achieve its mission, goal and objectives. And it also safeguards the organizational resources too. It may be lost due to waste, abuses, mismanagement, errors, frauds, etc. etc. So these are the 5 major components of the internal control system. Thank you.